Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my co-host today, Dan Kelly.
What's up?
So, unfortunately, Tim cannot join us today. Tim, we hope all is well, and that we'll be seeing you next week. But yeah, so it's you and I today, Dan. A few about a month ago, it was you and I too when we went over the New Warriors.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, today we won't be going over any New Warriors or anything like that. Today we will be reviewing the Youngblood X-Force crossover. I know a lot of
We were
people.
we were forced to watch to read it.
Yes, we were. It was quite an interesting read, and I do actually have the first one.
Where do I have? Where did I set them down?
I know you've got them because remember you showed it to us after last week.
I set them down somewhere, and they're not in front of me now. When we go to the when we do the countdown into the episode, I'll grab them. They must be sitting off to the side here.
Okay, so Youngblood's just so popular. Someone broke into your house just to steal Youngblood.
Yeah, yeah.
You see all your slabs behind you. I'm just gonna take this Youngblood.
Yeah, I'm not going to take any autograph books or any of these first appearances. No, I'm going to take Youngblood X-Force.
Yeah. So that is what we will be reviewing today. Of course, we'll be having some other things. We'll be having, there's a bit of a mix-up, a bit of a controversy around the F list today. So we'll get on to that later. And we'll be having random panel of the week, Variant Insanity, and of course, we got some comic book news. Oh, yeah, and today we'll be having Right or Wrong. It'll be a little bit different because today Tim was set to have 5 statements, but since he's not able to make it, we agreed that I'll have 2 and Dan will have 2.
Yes, that's the truth. That's why Tim didn't want to come on, is because he was like, I couldn't think of 5 statements.
I just thought he was so happy about Youngblood.
He's like, I don't want to read that crap. I'm not going on.
Yeah, so that'll be what's going on today. And then, yeah, we got a bit of comic book news. Some of the stuff that was literally like today, it seemed like there was this news and that news. Yeah, so sometimes that's what it happens. It seems like on Wednesday is the day when the news will suddenly jump out. But yeah, like I said,
I mean,
as anybody
it
can
is
see
new
in the
comic
title.
day.
Yeah, since Wednesday is the comic book day. And as you can see in the title, you got the Power Rangers getting a reboot. Bryan Cranston may be playing a certain big character in X-Men. Yeah, but then we also got some more news about more people playing more parts, some people returning to parts. But yeah, so it
It's
should be an
Bishop. He's going to play
interesting.
Bishop.
Who?
He's going to play Bishop.
We'll see. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah, the Storm one that I sent.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is Storm. Who knows? I like there was one thing before. It was like Robert Downey Jr. is, and it had him as everybody in the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that will be interesting to see. But what else has been up, Dan? I know you're mentioning that football season is up. I know you're doing a bit of fantasy football.
Yeah, I actually have a fantasy football draft that's going to be happening. What's up, Richard?
Hey,
Thank you
Richard.
for joining us. I actually have a fantasy. Oh, what's up, Bougie?
Hey, Bougie.
In about 25 minutes, I'm going to be doing a fantasy football draft while running all the controls for this, because it's a fantasy football league for Heroes Corner Comics. So it is comic related, but this is the time that Louis set for the. This is the time that Louis set for.
You remembered. You were supposed to forget that.
What's up, Mr. Keith? Well,
hello, Mr. Keith.
But yeah, so I will be multitasking with that. So it is fantasy, it is comic related. And actually, not in the. Maybe I should change it in this league, because in my main fantasy football team name in the league that I run is the Pork Chop Express, which is for all you Big Trouble in Little China fans. And then in the league that Louis has, my team name is the Fighting Armadillos, for anyone that's seen the fantastic Scott Bakula Sinbad movie Necessary Roughness.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh my God, it's so good. Like Franklin was like I think Edward, or not Edward James Olmos is in it. It's Jason Bateman's in it, and Kathy Ireland's in it when she was like young and super hot, and Rob Schneider's in it as the team's football announcer. and it's a really funny movie.
So
But
we can guess you'll be drafting NFL Super Pro as your number one pick today.
well, that's funny because in the league that my friend runs, my team name is NFL Super Pro.
There you
So
go.
now that I'm in the Heroes Corner Comics League, I might have to make that team NFL Super Pro and make the other one the Fighting Armadillos.
No, happy campers like our F-listers from last week.
No. Hell no. Hell no.
No way.
No. That was just terrible.
Like truly was some of the worst F-listers we've had.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
Yeah. But all else things have been going good for me. I'm excited for this episode. I got through the story was pretty quick, so we got more onto it when we get to it. But yeah, it was pretty quick to read, and then getting ready for this episode.
Yeah.
So
I read I read one of them yesterday, and the other one I read I think the day before.
Yeah, I think well, not yesterday. I mean, it was a couple of days ago, but yeah, it was one issue and then the other one. But I see we got another comment.
Oh, yeah.
Pork Chop Express is a great name. Should be a band. I played 1 year, and team name was the Frankenstein Monsters. That's what Bougie said.
Nice. I used to be in a band, and I've been in some bands with some weird names, but one of them, the band name was Wolfman's Got Nards.
How did you come up with that name?
It's from the Monster Squad. You never saw the Monster Squad? He was like, kick him in the nards. He doesn't have nards. Just do it. Kicks him. He's like, Wolfman's Got Nards.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
You've never seen the Monster Squad?
I did not. Do you remember what year around it was when it came out?
I just lost so much respect for you, Sonny. What kind of filmmaker are you that has never seen the Fred Decker, Shane Black classic that is the Monster Squad?
Well,
I think the same year Predator came out because Shane Black wrote Monster Squad, and then Fred Decker directed it, and they actually just had a documentary about it come out like a year ago called Wolfman's Got Nards about the Monster Squad.
I will add it to my list. To my list of movies to see. I'm trying to think what year Predators. Well, yeah, I've obviously seen Predator, but
it came out in 1987.
I wasn't even born yet.
So I wasn't born when Animal House. Yep, same year as Predator. I wasn't born when Animal House came out, but I still saw it.
Just let me have an excuse. I did see Predator, but no.
Yes, you need to watch Monster Squad. God, how have you not watched that movie? It's so great because it's so stupid. It's so dumb, but I love it. Oh yeah, Short Circuit and the Ernest movies. Look, the first Ernest Goes to Camp was a funny movie. They were all diminishing returns as they went, but the first Ernest movie, Ernest Goes to Camp, was legit funny.
I like all the comparisons to Ernest, and like John Cena slowly becoming Ernest.
Yeah, what the hell's texting me? What was I gonna say? Yeah, I had a bootleg of Monster Squad on DVD I got at Comic-Con years ago, and then when they released the anniversary edition of it, I went out and bought that.
Dan the man with all the bootleg DVDs.
Yeah, so I don't have the bootleg anymore since I have the actual store-bought one.
Yeah, today's generation won't know what it's like about the bootleg DVDs. I burned a CD.
Oh, I can still burn CDs. In fact, that reminds me, I got to burn a Flogging Molly CD for Tim. He wanted me to burn one for Ethan so they could listen to it on the drive down for Baltimore.
Nice. You should put something about Youngblood on the CD, like Youngblood fans for the Youngblood fan.
Youngblood forever. Youngblood rules.
Oh man.
Yeah, funny, I meant to tell you, if there's any books you have that you want to get signed at Baltimore, send them to one of us, and we'll, I'm sure we'll keep them for ourselves, but maybe we'll get them signed.
but I can know that it was mine.
Okay, so the breakdown of the Monster Squad is that Dracula comes back, and then he starts bringing all of these different monsters back so that he can take over the world. And this group of middle school kids that have a monster club find out about it, and they band together so that they can fight and stop Dracula. So
I will say, so I gotta find out where it's on, and then I will make sure to watch it. But in the meantime, we've got a show to run, Dan, and I'm ready if you're ready to jump onto the actual show.
you ready? All right, let's do it.
Good.
What do you want what do you want the clip to be to start us out?
Ooh, surprise me.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna surprise myself and click on this one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and the man who will be joining me today is Dan Kelly. He's looking for X4. He's looking for his copy of Youngblood X-Force.
Whoops!
Were you able to get it? Well, there you go. He's got the Monster Squad.
Oh wait, I guess I should do the actual.
Did you get the comic?
The what?
Did you get the comic? Were you able to find your Youngblood X-Force?
Oh, I forgot to look for that.
Well, somebody broke into Dan's house and all they stole was his Youngblood comic books. So he was pretty mad, but we carry on, we trudge on, and today, unfortunately, Tim was not able to join us, so we hope Tim is well, that everything is well, and that he will be back next week.
Forgot to hit this. Look.
Yeah, we've already jumped on, so don't worry. In case you
Now here we are again.
In case you didn't know, welcome to the Codex Podcast. I'm Sonny Kruger, joined by Dan Kelly.
I had to run upstairs and grab this.
He was grabbing the Monster Squad. He didn't get to grab his. He didn't get to grab his copy of this Youngblood X-Force.
Look at that shiny goodness.
Look at that mojo goodness. But today,
2 discs, Sonny. You know it's quality when they give you multiple discs.
See, it's got the little flap. I miss those in the DVDs when they have the little booklets.
Oh yeah, this is the a little mini version of the poster. Look at that! Look how good that poster is.
I don't know, Dan. I'm not too sure about that. But we were talking about the Monster Squad on the pre-show today. Dan saying that I need to watch it, so I will add it to my list of movies to watch. But we've got quite a bit of news about movies. But also today we'll have some Variant Insanity. We have a random panel of the week. There's a bit of controversy on who will be on the F list, which deals with somebody with sports. And like I said, finally, we will be reviewing the Youngblood X-Force crossover.
Right on, Bougie. You're right. Cinematic gold.
Dan, are you ready to get us started? Are you ready to hit that button so I can get us started with the rundown?
Yeah. There's so many. There we go.
So for the news today, we got that Boom Studios is going to reboot the Power Rangers. That is right. There'll be a whole reboot in November of Power Rangers, and that will start with Power Rangers Prime will be the new name, and it will be written by Melissa Flores, and the artists are set to be Michael Yin and Fabi Marquez. Also, Tony Dalton is set to return as the Swordsman in Daredevil Born Again. But speaking of people playing certain parts, there's a rumor mill. There's some rumors, and one is that Bryan Cranston may be playing Professor X in the upcoming live-action X-Men movies. And speaking of people playing parts, actress Alison Brie is set to be playing a villain in the live-action He-Man movie. I'm going to assume if she's playing a villain, that villain will be Evil Lynn.
Yeah, that's what it said in the art. I skimmed the article. That's what it said.
Okay, as soon as I heard female villain, I'm okay. It's got to be Evil Lynn. And actually, sometimes we're trying to learn a few things. There's a lot to learn about comic books. Comic books have been around for a very, very long time. So for everybody who's maybe new and they want a little bit of some history on Marvel, there's a book coming out, and it's called Marvel Comics for Dummies. You're gonna have to wait till February 5th of 2025 to get it. So maybe it'll be your Valentine's Day gift. Or you can just buy it for yourself for Valentine's Day. But yeah, Marvel Comics for Dummies, set to come out February 5th. Dan, what news got you excited this week?
Well, I know Jamie's probably excited about the Power Rangers news because he, Codex's own J-Dub, because you know how much he likes all the Power Rangers books.
Yeah, him and Tim. I was really, it's unfortunate that Tim is not here because I was thinking, like, I know Tim and Jamie really read those, and they were even doing a lot of reviews on them. The Boom Studios ones. So the fact that it's being rebooted is pretty interesting. I know, like, with Boom being sold and everything, so that's why everything's changing up, and that'll be in November.
Yeah. As far as news, not a heavy news week, comic wise. I'm excited about seeing Timothy Dalton, or not Timothy, Tony Dalton.
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton would have made a good swordsman back in the day when he was younger. But yeah, I like Tony Dalton as a swordsman in the Hawkeye show. I would have liked to them still have had the connection between him and Clint from the past, but it's clear that it's not the exact same swordsman that was in the comic, but I enjoyed him in the role. So I hope that rumor's true. I'd like to see him come back.
Same here. I agree. Like I said, I liked Tony Dalton as the swordsman in Hawkeye, and I think he'll be interesting to have him back in Daredevil. Yeah, Boot says we'll check out the new Power Rangers. Yeah, so that'll come out in November with Power Rangers Prime. Yeah, and but I would like to see. I'm looking forward to seeing the swordsman return.
Yeah, and as far as the casting rumors go, I mean, I grew up watching He-Man, so I wouldn't mind seeing a good cast for the movie. And I mean, Alison Brie is, other than being a fantastic actress, she is easy on the eye. So I wouldn't mind seeing her walking around the screen in that Evil Lynn costume.
Did you watch the show Glow?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
I'm still bitter they didn't give them a proper wrap.
Same here.
Series.
Yeah, same here. Or at least give it a movie. Yeah, so she was terrific in it. Yeah, she is a terrific actress. I do wonder how she'll play as a villain, though. But hey, she got the part for a reason. So I hope she does good. Like I said, I like He-Man, the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah,
Evelyn is she's one of the main villains of the show. So it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. And then Bryan Cranston is Professor Xavier. I would like to see it. I think he'd do a terrific job. I mean, he's an amazing actor, and I think he's right on the age, I think. But wait, would he be willing to go bald?
I mean, he already did for another role that people know him for. So yeah, I think so. Which is funny. I hadn't, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, he'd be really good for the role. But all you hear is, him is like for when people would do these fan cast things. I kept hearing Mark Strong's name a lot, and I'm like, all right, I guess because he's bald and British, and and all the live action stuff they made. Me too, Bougie. I'm hoping for a good movie.
Same here.
And I heard something about they said like, well, if Dolph Lundgren's in it, who would he be? Like, well, clearly he would be He-Man's father. He'd be right. Like he'd have to play King Randor.
Yeah. And speaking of Bryan Cranston bald, there's certain Walter White. See, Dan, that's a figure I got. Well, more like a statue. And he's in good shape.
Is that because he's holding a gun, and when you get too close to it, he pulls the gun on you and says, "Don't even think about it"?
He's actually got some other stuff. His right now I was just pulling him out, but yeah, there's some sunglasses with it, a hat. He's got this bag with something in there, but yeah. So
The bag was something in it. I'll
yeah,
tell you what it is. It's meth.
yeah, the blue stuff. Yeah,
But yeah, I could see him. I could see him doing a good Professor X.
yeah,
Um, he's age appropriate for the role. We know that he's willing to go bald. Um, we'll see. We'll see what they do with the rest of the X-Men. I mean, I know it's a. There's a lot to unpack with that. Like, which are they going to start with the original five? Are they going to start with them just forming? Are they going to start with them having been around for a while? Are they going to be younger? It's just starting out. They're going to be older. Are they going to be like the all new, all different team? Are they going to have characters like that came later, like Gambit and Rogue? Like, there's so much to do. Like, there's just so much that, and nobody knows anything about when they're going to start, because even the stuff they've teased has still been the Fox version of the characters with Deadpool and Wolverine and Beast.
yeah. So we do wonder, and like I said, I wonder that too before. Like, I wonder if they'll ever do a movie starting with the originals, And I mean, now would be the time to do it, but I know it is like they're gonna want to jump, I think, straight into putting in Wolverine and Storm in them. But we shall see what happens. Who knows? They might have one movie with the originals, and then.
So I'll tell you what I wanted. The idea I had, which is something that they'll never do. But I wanted to see them start with the original five, but not start with a movie. And this is why they'll never do it. Not start with a movie, but start with a Disney Plus series. And each episode focuses on recruiting a different member. So like the first episode is just Professor X recruiting Cyclops. And then soon Professor X would be at least a Vietnam vet, since he and Magneto would be too young for World War II. Well, it depends. I mean, it depends if they're starting the Fantastic Four in the past in an alternate reality. So maybe they would do that with them. Being Jewish and going through the Holocaust is a pretty vital part of Magneto's character.
Yeah, you're doing a good point.
Well, like I said, I would start with the show. Like, first episode, it's him recruiting Cyclops. Second episode, it's, I don't remember which one came. Let's just say Beast. Like, him recruiting Beast. And then, fifth episode, Jean was the final of the original five. So after the fifth episode, the team's done. And then the sixth episode, you see the team training and getting to know each other. And then the episode ends with Magneto attacking the military base. Then episode 7 is a flashback that shows Xavier and Magneto, like when they were younger and when they met each other and had this friendship, and how it evolved, and then how they went their separate ways. Just showing their backstory. And then episode 8 is the team fighting Magneto at the military base, and which reveals themselves to the world. That then leads into a movie. The movie takes place about a year after that, so you can have them established. You can have them in their new costumes that don't all match, and the team has had a chance to kind of fight some villains. You can show like some stuff in the opening credits of them like fighting Eunice and Vanisher or something. And then
Brad Pitt as the Vanisher again.
What?
I said Brad Pitt is the Vanisher again.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. Quite a few others like your ideas, Dan.
And then whoever they have fight in that movie, the movie ends with them going to investigate this thing on Krakoa and getting captured. And then there's the post-credit scene, like from Giant Size X-Men, where Cyclops makes it back to the mansion and like bursts in and decides they need to recruit a new team. And then the second movie would adapt Giant Size X-Men 1, where they recruit the new team. They go save the old team from Krakoa. And then from there, you can just move on to do, whatever you want with introducing characters and stories and all that. That's what I would do if I was in charge. I'm not Kevin Feige. I'm not in charge. That's 100% nothing like what they're going to do, but it would be pretty cool.
It would be, yeah. Like I said, and I saw quite a few people like that idea in the comments.
Yeah, see, I don't know about Kyle MacLachlan as Magneto.
I mean, he's a great actor. I'm trying to think of his. Yeah, I really like Michael Fassbender. I would hate to see him like not be him anymore. I would hope that it would stay as Michael Fassbender, but who
I
knows?
like this meme I saw years ago where it's, because First Class took place in the 60s, right? And it's like Michael Fassbender playing Magneto in the 60s. And then Michael Fassbender playing Magneto in the 70s when it was Days of Future Past. Then Michael Fassbender playing Magneto in the 80s when it was Apocalypse. And then it's like, the late 90s when it was Ian McClellan. It's like, and it shows all them. It's like, my God, what happened to this man between 1987 and like 1998 or something to go from that to that?
You forgot the forgettable Dark Phoenix one, because it was supposed to be the 90s.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
90s,
that because that movie was such a piece of shit.
I
Yeah,
love my X-Men, but I couldn't watch it.
Someone get Feige on the phone and tell him he needs to hire me stat.
Yeah, but I like that meme. Yeah, what happened to this man? But like those, because it is like not even 10 years difference supposed to be between Dark Phoenix and the original X-Men movie.
I would like to see them this time, get an actual German actor to play the role, instead of a British guy that doesn't even attempt a German. Like, it doesn't have to be a heavy German accent, but come on. See, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, they've had the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men for so long since the Fox thing, and they're only now starting to do something with them. So, Oh, plus there was the rumor about what's his name is Green Lantern, Josh Brolin.
Yes, Josh Brolin. Yes, there's rumors that Josh Brolin will play Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, in the series, and so that already lets you know if it happens that they'd already be having Hal Jordan is older. He isn't going to be the main one. I don't think. I think other people were saying that it's already going to be set to be about John Stewart, focusing on him.
Well, the show they announced was going to be Hal Jordan and John Stewart, I guess, is like a rookie Lantern, and Hal is the veteran, and it was going to be a true detective type of thing, which sounds cool. I don't know how well that works for someone like Green Lantern.
I was thinking the same thing.
But, it could be cool. I don't know. But even as him as a veteran Lantern, like, Josh Brolin's 56 years old. This isn't scheduled to come out for a couple years, so he'll be like 60 by the time they do it, and that would be the first thing. Oh, that's a good idea. Christopher Waltz as Magneto.
Yeah, Mr. Keith's Christopher Waltz could be Magneto.
Oh my God, that's all I'm going to be able to think about now. That's the perfect fan casting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would want to start with one of the big seven for DC as a 60-year-old when your whole universe starts. Like, I get that you want to make Batman a little bit older than Superman, but I mean, do you want him to be 35 years older?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they should start with him being younger. And Bougie's talking about Christopher Waltz is saying if he's a little younger and if he could be bigger. But the thing actually with special effects and everything, they could possibly always just add it and make him look bigger than he is.
I mean, he's younger than Ian McClellan when he played the role, and he played it for like 10 years.
Yeah, that was one thing though. As great as an actor as Ian McClellan is, I always thought like he seems too old to be Magneto.
I mean, Magneto, I always thought about as being a little bit older, anyways.
Yeah, I was a little older, but I didn't think of him as being that old, I guess.
But yeah, so I don't know. I hope for some good X-Men news coming our way. I hope for some good Green Lantern news. There's so many better. I mean, I think Josh Brolin would have been a good Hal Jordan if they would have done him in the role like 20 years ago. But I mean, at this point too, he's already been Jonah Hex. He's already been Thanos. He's already been Cable. Like, can we cast someone new?
Yeah, very interesting that you say that. But we'll get onto that later, and you'll see what I mean. But for me, I'm good with all the comic news. Are you ready for some insanity?
I am.
Okay, here we go. Variant insanity. Dan, would you and would everybody in the comments like to guess as to which comic book had the most variants this week?
What I'm gonna guess what's the new X-Men book? It's Exceptional X-Men. I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay, anybody in the comments? Leave a countdown. 5,
No.
4, 3, 2, 1. Dan, that was an exceptional answer you had because you were correct. Exceptional
Woo!
X-Men #1 had the most variants this week. Would you like to guess how many?
Can you give me a hint if it's more or less than last week's answer?
I'm just gonna make it tougher on you, Dan.
Dick. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 15.
That's why I couldn't give it to you because it was the same thing as last week. 15.
Oh!
So you
I
got
am
it.
all that is man.
First time, Dan, somebody got the comic book and the number of comics right. So yep. This week, Exceptional X-Men #1 had the most variants with 15 from 1A to 1O.
I think I should get a special PDF award for that one.
I might just make it one. We shall see.
Because I
Time
literally
vested.
I did that and I had I didn't even I had to think for a second, like, what books are coming out this week? And the only reason I pulled that was I was like, oh yeah, Kevin posted in Comic Character of the Week or Comic Character of the Day, that was his pick of the week, and that's the only reason I remembered it.
So there you go. You did get it right. And then now it's time for some right or wrong. Now this week it would be Tim here with 5 statements, but Tim was not able to make it. We're just assuming that he got so excited about reading Youngblood that he went out to get more Youngblood comic books. So Tim's not here. So me and Dan agreed I'll do 2 statements and he will do 2 statements.
All right. I do want to say too that for everyone out there, my fantasy football draft has started. I have the 3rd pick in the draft, and it's a snake draft. And with the 3rd pick, I selected running back Breece Hall for the New York Jets.
Well, good luck to you, Dan, and good luck to Bryce Hall. Okay.
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall. I mean, Breece and whoever Bryce Hall is, good luck to you. And Breece Hall, good luck to you as well. Get Dan some points for his fantasy football.
So I will happily keep everyone updated as the show goes on to who my picks are.
All right, make sure to pick Breece Hall with your next pick.
I can't. I can't pick him twice, Sonny.
But Bryce Hall.
Bryce Hall. Okay, I'll find a guy named Bryce Hall. I'll tell a team to sign him, and then I will draft him.
There you go. He's a real sleeper. People are sleeping on him. All right, Dan. For the statements, would you like to go first? Would you like me to go first? You won. You got the variant insanity right, so go ahead. You pick how this one goes.
All right, I'll go first. I am going to pull mine up. Yes, if Roger stays healthy, they'll be good.
If they can make more than one, if they could play more than like 3 plays.
I'm calling it now. The Jets will miss the playoffs, whether Aaron Rodgers is healthy or not. And as someone said, he missed out last season on was like the 3rd or 4th play of the season when he busted up his knee. His other knee has the ability to do the funniest thing in the world on the first offensive series for the Jets this year. Just saying. All right, my first right or wrong. Robert Downey Jr. will make a great Dr. Doom.
Right.
I'll say right as well.
Okay.
You can go next.
All right, then my one is we should have more new actors playing superheroes/villains.
Right.
I say right.
All right. Anybody in the chat, feel free to jump in too. So number 1 was RDJ as Doctor Doom. Number 2 is new actors as new roles. Number 3, I'm going to go Marvel. Oh, Bougie says number 1 is right. Right. Number 3, Marvel will botch the introduction of introducing the X-Men to the MCU.
Unfortunately, right.
I also think that as well.
I hope to be proven wrong. Okay,
Yes.
and my fourth one, I'm pretty sure everyone's already going to say right, but my fourth one, well, my second one, which is our fourth one, is
Oh,
Youngblood.
that's the sound of me being up to make a pick.
All right, ready for this though?
I drafted Puka Nakua for anyone that cares.
So you got Puka Nakua. All right,
Yes.
Bucci says number 3 was right. I'm sure he's also going to say right for this one. Youngblood needs a live action movie.
Wrong.
I say wrong. As funny as they would be, but if they do it, they would need to have Hassan Hussein be their villain again. Yeah.
Who?
Their villain for the very first issue was Hassan Hussein.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I blocked it out because that book was so terrible.
Look at it. Bushi says right. See, I knew.
Bougie just you'd say we're all right.
See, people want Youngblood movies.
Nobody wants Youngblood movies except maybe Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is going to play all the roles. Robert Downey Jr. is Bad Rock.
Yes, I wonder. Yeah, would they call him Bedrock or Bad Rock? Because in the first issue he was like Bedrock, and then later, like the story we're reading now, he's Bad Rock.
Yeah, he was Bedrock, and then he used to say Yabba Dabba Doom as he went into battle, and then Hanna-Barbera went to Rob Liefeld, was like, we're going to sue you. And he had to change the name to Bad Rock and have him stop saying Yabba Dabba Doom.
Youngblood, it never stops with the goodness / badness of Youngblood.
So, all right, so I guess let's run through them real quick. My number 1 was Robert Downey Jr. will make a great Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I think he could pull it off. I mean, some people are like, "Oh, I don't know if it should be him." I mean, I hope he does. I mean, he's a great actor. So, and then also like, and he's starting to play some more bad roles, like in Oppenheimer. He was quite a jerk in there. He even won Best Supporting Actor for it. So I think he could play Doctor Doom very well.
I think so too. I really hope that he is able to do a good Eastern European accent, because I really think that Doom needs to have that Eastern European accent. If they have him keep the mask on all the time, people are saying, "Oh, I don't want Tony Stark variant for Doom." They clearly said in the introduction he was going to play Victor Von Doom. So, I think he'll be great at the role. He is, I mean, him and Sean Penn are considered the greatest actors of their generation. So I would, I would say right on that. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with the role.
Bush, I agree that that's the only way Youngblood could possibly be a good movie, is if you know that it's goofy and you just have your fun with it.
I think they would have to make it where they would have to have it directed by Zack Snyder, where it's ultra serious and, like that crappy Justice League movie he did, where he makes it ultra serious and dark and full of all these, Christ allegories and all this. And you're like, dude, it's Youngblood.
You do also the part when, like in the first issue, for those who know, there was an episode of the Codex podcast where me, Tim, and Jamie reviewed Youngblood, and then there's also a video separately we have on the Codex station of us reviewing Youngblood. And one of the parts we mentioned, which would have to be in the movie, was when Shaft used a pen. He threw a pen to kill somebody. A would-be assassin tried to get him, and the pen got him. But yeah, the second one was about new actors playing superheroes and supervillains. I agree, and a lot of people were saying that we were all agreeing to it. It'd be nice to see some new stars get made. Like I said, I think Robert Downey Jr. could do a great job as Doctor Doom. And like we were just saying, Josh Brolin, he's played quite a few superheroes and everything. It would be nice to see some different actors and actresses.
I would like to. I don't mind seeing them do multiple roles, because remember, if they didn't play multiple roles, then we would not have gotten, we would not have gotten
Captain America.
Captain America, yeah, because Chris Evans already was in.
Fantastic Four.
He was in Fantastic Four. He was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He was in later on after he did Cat. Then he was in Snowpiercer. I think there were a couple other ones too. Oh, he was in The Losers, which was an awesome movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, I meant like more of like playing the different superheroes. But yeah, like I said, it's fine to have the ones we know. And obviously, I know too that does bring people to theaters. Obviously, they're all about the people in the suits. They want who's going to bring people in the theaters, who makes people watch it. Even too, Fantastic Four already, people were saying, "Oh, I'll see it because Pedro Pascal's in there," without really even knowing much about Fantastic Four. So I get it, but just in general, I would like to see some newer stars made as well.
I really don't like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't like the casting of almost the entire movie. But I'm not a huge fan of it. But I'm going to say looks like we've got a special guest here.
Hello.
There he is,
the man, the myth, the legend.
Yep, I came in on my night off because Sonny had an F-lister that I had to actually defend. I've never defended one of these clowns before, but I have to defend this one.
All right. Well, you can join us while we finish out right or wrong.
Okay.
So the first one was Robert Downey Jr. will be fantastic as Dr. Doom. What's up, Sal?
Hey, Sal. What's up, Sal?
I think we all said right to that.
I think he's pretty much fantastic in anything. Did y'all see him in Oppenheimer?
Yes.
Well, I was just mentioning that. Yeah, that's how I said.
Yeah.
I think
he was incredible in that. So yeah, I think he'll be fantastic as Dr. Doom.
He did this awesome movie, and it was a while ago. It was pre-Marvel days, but it's a Shane Black movie I love that he did with Val Kilmer called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, that's a great movie. Yes. Oh.
I love the line in it when Downey Jr. says something, he's like, "What do you think? I'm dumb or an idiot or something?" And Val Kilmer does this. No, I think blah 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 blah. Yes, I think you're an idiot.
and I don't imagine we could talk about Tropic Thunder.
Oh, that was so good.
One of my favorites that he was in was Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
On that cover, they don't even have on the back of the cover.
He's been in a ton of good movies. All right, so the second right or wrong, what was Sonny's? That was the.
Yeah, would you like? Was that we need more newer actors and actresses playing the roles of superheroes / supervillains?
Newer ones. I'm going to say right, just because these other actors are aging out. And, if they want to keep the franchises going, they have to inject the new blood in it. Maybe they don't have to be, maybe they can be someone taking up the mantle of that character and not being that exact character. I think I would like that better.
Okay. And number 3, Dan, what was your number 3?
Oh, just real quick for everyone to keep you updated, as I am currently doing this show and the Heroes Corner Comic Fantasy Football Draft.
Oh my God.
My picks, I made Breece Hall in the first round, Puka Nacua in the second round, and then I drafted Sam Laporta in the third round, Lamar Jackson in the fourth round, and Brandon Ayuk in the fifth round. I don't know what the people in this draft are doing.
How did Jackson make it to the fourth round?
I don't know, but I'm in round 6, and I just drafted Jalen Waddle. So I don't know what these people are doing.
Wow. How the hell are you going to do a show tomorrow night when your Ravens are playing KC?
If I were you guys, I would not expect my full attention to be on the episode.
I know later this year, Washington plays Philly. I don't know how I'm supposed to do a show while that's on. So, I don't know how you're doing. And you have a legitimate team. I have a team that I'm predicting 7 wins for as the upside.
I'll be happy if the Bears can get 7.
You know what? The Bears have a great chance to get 7 because of that quarterback, and I guess they brought in a receiver with the 9th pick, right?
Yeah.
The Bears.
And the Bears had the first pick
Yeah, so they got Williams
because they
first
had
pick.
Carolina's pick. They didn't have the worst record. You know, they would ninth was where they were naturally picking, so they had the ninth worst record. But yeah, I think the Bears are definitely legitimately near a 500 team. But if Washington wins 7 games, that's more than double what we won last year. So I would be happy with that. Building for the future, baby.
All right.
All right.
So we were on to my third one. So my third right or wrong was Marvel will botch the introduction of the X-Men to the MCU. And all of us begrudgingly said right. Because I don't think that they have any real idea what they want to do.
Okay. So Wolverine and Deadpool wasn't an introduction of the X-Men in the MCU. Is that what we're going to say?
Well, I mean, I guess kind of, but they didn't really introduce. They introduced X-Man in Wolverine. They didn't have any of the other ones in it. So I'm not going with like them, you know, the foxhole. I'm going with introducing the X-Men as they will be going forward in the MCU. And I just don't think that they have any idea what they want to do. And I think they're going to have a hard time cutting ties with the Fox stuff because we've already seen Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. We've seen Kelsey Grammer as Beast. We've seen Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I think they're going to have a hard time moving on from that.
Is there an X-Men feature that they're supposed to be in? Are they supposed to be a cameo in another movie? What is the word?
Kind of up
I
in the
haven't
air.
said anything yet.
Okay, well, I will say yes, but with the caveat that if the Russos are involved, that it could really be good. I have faith in them.
All right, I'm ready for this one. We pretty much already know you're going to say right, but my last one was Youngblood needs a live action movie.
Youngblood needs a whole damn transfusion, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, we were all pretty much right there.
Mm.
But Bougie in the comments said that you can make a good Goofy movie with Youngblood.
But I said they need to do Youngblood like Zack Snyder did Justice League, where it's ultra dark and serious and has all these Christ allegories and this or that, and have it just be ridiculous in that way and be like, dude, this is Youngblood. You need to chill out.
Well, that could be funny. I like that. Now,
Uncle Gary jumps on here now. I'm going to throw in a bonus right or wrong, too. Due to him doing 1,000 push-ups a day, Uncle Gary will outlive everybody on the Codex station.
Look, I don't do 1,000 a day. I only did 420 today. Shit. Listen, I'm the oldest dude on the Codex station, so the fact that I might outlive everyone, I think that is a big false. So, but especially what Jamie's just a tender 34.
I'm 34. Jamie's 33.
Oh, Jamie's 33.
He's even younger. So let's hope I got another 50 years in me. Yeah, 50. Let's hope I got another 60 years in me. Let's hope I make it to my 90s.
I'm hoping to make it to my 90s and be in control of my facility. But I like your right or wrong. You know what? Maybe it'll be a tie. We'll all be at a con somewhere and a meteor will hit and we'll all die together.
Well,
it could happen.
Side of things.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you want something cheery, here's Sal. Thank you, Sal. Here you go. Every day you wake up, every day, without doubt, every day you wake up, you're one step closer to the grave.
Hey, I wrote one of my songs, not the song featured in the Sonny Kruger classic, A Series About a Series, episode 3, but another song I wrote, one of the lines in it says, each day above ground is a victory.
It is.
By that.
It is. It definitely is. As my man John Mellencamp writes, getting old ain't for cowards. So,
I was going to make a t-shirt that says, I'm going to have it say, I'm here for a long time, not a good time.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I hope you have a good time, man.
I had a buddy that used to say his goal in life was to be shot in the back by a jealous husband when he was 85.
I
Give me one way to go.
Well, he said, if I'm 85 still slinging, I get shot in the back. That's okay. So, but to each their own. Each their own.
Sal says he's going to be like Vandal Savage and that he will live forever.
Well, Sal might. Sal, when Sal got his start at the morgue, because that's why he's Sal the Slab guy, he used to steal the residual life energy from all the corpses that they still had a little bit. So he would steal a little bit of what they had left, and he's added many years there. So he will live. He will live forever. So Sal the Slab guy got his immortality at the morgue.
So that's why he's called the Slab Guy.
That's why he's called the Slab Guy, because he was at the morgue. That's right. So he decided to get two of his great loves, cadavers and slabs and comics, and got them slabbed, and he crossed the streams and mixed the goodness. So there's Sal's secret origin.
Yeah. Secret origin. Yeah. Well, here we go. I'm glad we got to have you join in on our right or wrong. And then now, before we jump to all the stuff about the F list, we'll show you a bit of the random panel of the week. And it was Labor Day, so a lot of people were having barbecues and cookouts. So some of us may have had some burgers.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Well, she doesn't look like she did. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. There's a flash, and he grabs a guy and he says, "Burgers. Bring me burgers now." And the guy says, "Oh, how many, sir?" And he says, "All of them."
That's the thing that I thought they did well when they did that Flash live action show, not the crappy Grant Gustin one. The other one is that, the thing about him like needing to eat all the time.
Metabolism, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things in the Redcoat series now is that he's always hungry. He has no mortality, but one of the side effects is he's always hungry.
Yeah.
So I like that. So is that from the Wally West series when it first started? When they relaunched it after Barry died. Is that when that is from?
That one looks like it's somewhere in the 90s. I'm not too sure which actual.
Well, it's sort of like late 80s, 90s run. That run of Flash went a couple hundred issues, I think. I think I got it right down there. So.
All right, but now brings us to something that I would, we normally join the F list and everyone agrees, but this time there was a little bit of debate going on.
Dissension in the ranks.
All right. All right, everybody, get your popcorn ready.
So today it is set that a certain person will join the F list and that person will be Sportsmaster.
No.
So there we go. There we got some pictures of old Sportsmaster. There he is when he had his green pants and his purple little jacket. There's another Sportsmaster looking with his little short shorts, like a scooter. Look at that. He's got a big old nuclear ballistic missile. There he is again. He says, "Play ball, sports fans. It's that time of the year again." And look at him. Look how cool he is there flying on like he's going to go skiing, but it's
got rocket skis. He's got rocket skis. Yeah, that's right.
And there he is joined by the Condiment King and Mr. Polka Dot. It says Sportsmaster, in it to win it.
Okay, well, that's a bad indictment of who he's hanging out.
And there he is. He says, "A drop kick." He says, "Yeah, drop kick. To drop you, fatty." And then when he kicks this little fat guy, that's pretty funny, though.
Now, anybody know who the fat guy he's kicking is?
Ooh,
It was Alan Scott's sidekick.
Yeah, Dobie Dickles or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Cab driver.
And there he is, Sportsmaster. And now he's playing golf.
But okay,
Playing golf
See who
with.
he's next
Yeah,
to, though. Yeah.
check out his wife. That's pretty good. Old Paula there looking pretty good.
And there he is, the live action version of him. And then there he is in, I believe it was Young Justice.
Yeah, that was from Young Justice.
And then there he is. There's another version of him. Look at it. He looks like he's ready to go fishing.
And her old man has made them both a fortune stealing the greatest treasures on earth cleverly using sports gimmicks with the brazen style of a flashy quarterback of tennis hustler or
And
tennis hustler.
And he has his fish shooting out baseballs at people's heads.
It's not easy to train him to do that.
There's not. There's just a bunch of them right there. And there's another version. Yeah. This is, as for you, Tin Face, you can join this scum. He looks almost like he's a knight there. But okay, so we've got a lot about Sportsmaster. Now, but you guys know a bit more about the history of this character, right? So
yeah, I mean, I think we know the history of him, so I don't think that we need to go through the trying to make something up since we already know it.
Yeah, we already know Crusher.
Yeah, Crusher, yeah. The disgruntled athlete who turned to a life of crime. We got somebody else in the comments. What's up? All right.
You gotta switch back to. Oh, what's up, Zan? How do you say it? Zail?
I'm going to say Zazil's Clubhouse.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we were mispronouncing that.
Yeah, so we're on to the F list, and I'm saying that Sportsmaster Lawrence Crusher Croc joins the F list. But today, Uncle Gary had to jump in and say, wait a minute. I've got to challenge this.
Here's what I'm going to say about old Crusher. Crusher is a C-lister. I will give you that, but he is a class. For one thing, F-listers that you show on this, that you show here, how many different appearances do F-listers usually have?
Actually, usually not many. Yeah,
usually one and done. Sportsmaster has been appearing in comics since 1947. He first appeared in an All-American, maybe 85, 80 something. And he was a Green Lantern villain. He was a Wildcat.
Very good. Very good. It was All-American Comics number 85, like you said.
Okay, there you go. So an early All-American. And he was a JSA villain. So he was a part of the Injustice Society. And when you think about it, he is a finely well-honed athlete. He uses gimmicks such as exploding baseballs and mallets and hockey sticks. He was Casey Jones before there was a Casey Jones, except he was using a lot of other implements. So, would you consider the Batman villain the Penguin a F-lister? No, certainly not among the best of the rogues, but certainly a quality villain. And he has one gimmick. He's got the damn umbrellas. The Sportsmaster has quite a few gimmicks there, but he's a highly trained athlete, a hand-to-hand combatant. Would give Green Lantern a tough time, would give Wildcat a tough time, would fight against the JSA. So, and he got a wife, he got a good-looking wife that was his partner in crime. And their daughter, Artemis, became, his wife has been called the Huntress or Tigress, and his daughter, Artemis, has been called Tigress. So he's got quite a legacy there. So I think he's got too much legacy, too many appearances, too many quality adversaries to be an F-lister ever. So, and the fact that he's been in live action shows and he's been in animated shows on multiple platforms. So I think a character like that is not F-lister. Like I said, I'll concede that he's probably a C-lister, but no lower than that.
Dan, how about you?
I'm gonna say that Gary nailed it. Excuse me. He's been around for, like you said, he's been around for a long time, and he's fought some pretty important characters. You can't deny the fact, take a look at Tigress there. His daughter's an important character. He's on the Injustice Society, and not like for 5 minutes, like he's one of the main members of it. I'll give you this. That green and purple costume that's not the best look.
It worked for the Hulk, but not for him.
Yes. The green and purple, not a fantastic look. especially with that stupid mask. But you look at this, the live action one. Okay, they're working on a TV budget for live action, and it actually did look better than that in movement. But you look at that animated one from Justice Society. That's badass.
Yeah. Dan, in the live action Stargirl, the character looked pretty cool. Also,
yeah,
was a hell of a fighter.
That's the live action one there. That's why I said the still picture doesn't look fantastic, but when he was in action, he looked really good. Yeah, Mr. Keith says, how many people would ever yell to him across the street, "Hey, Sportsmaster, ever heard of weapons?"
Well, you know what? I tell you what, I've a baseball bat's a hell of a weapon.
Hey, you know what? I say nobody's saying that Casey Jones belongs on the F list, and he's just a guy that puts on a hockey mask and carries around a bag with hockey sticks and a cricket mallet and a baseball bat and all that, and
that's why I said he was Casey Jones before there was Casey Jones.
Yeah,
and Casey Jones had to be inspired by Sportsmaster.
Yeah, So I'll say, like I said, that this is not the best look, and there have been a couple different Sportsmasters.
Yes,
but old Croc, that's a good character there. Like you said, maybe not A list, but definitely not F lists. He's right there in the middle at C+/B- list.
I could see B-. Yeah, because like I said, again, you're talking about a JSA villain.
A long-term JSA villain.
Yep, absolutely. So, sure, he's got gimmicks and all that, but he's still a highly trained athlete. And the fact that he's appeared in so many mediums, like I said, the Stargirl series, Sportsmaster was a pretty cool character in there, and and was definitely a part of the Injustice Society there, and actually turned against them and helped fight with Stargirl. But interesting. They had him and his wife portrayed as fitness freaks, which was great.
Oh, yeah, and he owned the gym.
Yeah, he owned the gym.
And he kept trying to get Pat to come and work out. Out. So yeah, I mean, you know what? Green Arrow is an A-lister, and I mean, he used to shoot boxing glove arrows.
Yep, absolutely.
Batman had shark repellent in his utility belt. Robin, wore ankle boots. Yeah, you can go on and on with some of these characters and some of the less than A-list things that they've done.
Well, again, Penguin, right?
Penguin, yeah.
And Penguin is no lower than a B character.
But let's say we know that Sportsmaster is not on the level of Batman or even Penguin villains go.
No, but he has a hand-to-hand. I tell you what, he would beat the Penguin's ass
in a fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have had some pretty tough F-listers before. But So for me, what I say is, like I said, he's got quite a bit of the history. Obviously, he even could pull a lady. He can get himself a wife. He could have a family. But I think they've been trying for so long. We look at so many different versions of him.
Hello, Liz. Well,
hey, Liz.
You know what? Let me change the screen here since it's me and Gary versus you, Sonny.
All right. So since they've been trying so much, I was like, when you look at some of those older outfits, I was like, yeah, it doesn't work. But sometimes it's kind of older. We get that was the style. But I look at his crimes. They're all sports, themed. He wants to mess up sports games. He wants to steal sports memorabilia. And then...
That's lucrative, man. That's lucrative. That's money.
He sometimes shoots...
That's what OJ went to jail for eventually. Yeah.
And he's horrible.
You steal the gate at the Boston Garden? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good payday there, baby.
But I look at when he hits the golf ball too, like to really do that. So some of the things not the worst, but then when I look at how,
we got a hero that we love that throws batarangs. Come on, man.
But look at that outfit. That's not a good outfit to be wearing.
But that's better than that green and orange or that green and purple thing.
Like that one, that one's bad. See, as you see there,
the golf one much better.
But then, when we get to
that's
not good.
That's the worst picture ever because he's hanging out with some characters that are really bringing him down there.
See, so there we go. I see.
That's the biggest indictment.
That's not Croc. That's there. I think that's the other one.
Glover, right?
Yeah.
That's
That might
Glover.
be it. So that's what, and also too, have been multiple sports masters,
Yep.
or even one of them was the Victor Gover one. I believe it was the last picture.
Well, Victor
That
Grover.
one.
See, there's a difference, right? Croc was a master batter. Victor Grover's a master baiter. So there's a difference.
Yeah, and one thing about this one was that it said that in his first this sports master, in his first appearances, he was African American, and then later on he just suddenly became Caucasian. That's not such a high list
No.
move. But then too, when we look at some of the others, when we look at when he in the newer versions of him, the ones that remind me more of Casey Jones, and it was interesting how you mentioned it, because I was like, yeah, he's been around before Casey Jones, but the outfit, as we look at the outfit, I'm like, they changed it pretty much later on. I almost wonder, was it copying Casey Jones or the Casey Jones? Because I know Casey Jones has been around for a while with the hockey mask and the stick. So that's like there. I wonder, was Casey Jones like that first and they copied to try to change him?
Well, so what? So you're saying that he's copying the one that copied him?
But Casey Jones was more just, he had his own, like the hockey mask and everything first, whereas this was how Sportsmaster was first.
You know what? If anybody has seen the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, you see how well it works making a copy of a copy. Not so
yes. Well, that is very true.
But yeah, so for me,
everything was good until the copies wanted to start sleeping with his wife.
Yeah.
that became a problem. that became a problem.
For me, Sportsmaster is certainly not the worst. I think they keep trying. That's why I wonder, how many years do they have to keep trying, keep rebooting to try to change his look? Is this and that? He's not the worst. I know a lot of people are more saying C-list. For me, I'll still say he has been around since 1947. Maybe in 2020, maybe in 2047. I'll take him off of my version of the F list.
Oh, Sonny, you're misguided here.
I'm going to have to pull a Jamie with Sal.
Oh, no, don't do that to Sonny. That's Sonny. Sonny. Oh, he did you wrong, Sonny. But yeah, you are wrong on this one, buddy.
Yeah. I'm going to say that he not only makes it off the F list, he was never on the F list.
Oh, exactly. He's never been on the F list, never been anywhere close to the F list. This is
some F listers like the Condiment King. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck.
Okay. You haven't hung out with people that you wished you hadn't hung out with on one occasion. And that's a different version of the Sportsmaster that Dan and I don't even subscribe to.
Yeah.
Maybe that one could be on the F list then.
We're counting the classic villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
So will we get the one who's with the Condiment King? Will we put that one on the F list?
I'll put Glover on the F list. Yeah, I'll put him on. Yep. So that's not a problem. So that one I agree, but not Croc.
Not Crusher, not Croc.
Not Croc. No.
But we are in agreement on at least one. We found an agreement on one of the many Sportsmasters. I'm like, there's so many of them. One of them's got to be bounded to have us agree. So the one we agree on is the one who hangs out with the Condiment King.
All right.
That's the one that's
funny. You get your position back now.
So there we go.
Okay, so you'll agree on that one. Are you going to acknowledge that Crusher is not an F lister?
You know what? For me,
what's up, Adam?
Hey, what's up, Adam?
For me, I'm keeping him on there right now.
Dan, you and I gave him a little bit. We gave him a little bit there, and he just took it. He can't give back. Why you fired so?
Maybe on his 100th birthday.
On his 100th birthday, man. Sonny, you're just an all or nothing kind of guy, aren't you?
But I say he can't. I say he can though.
He can't.
He can't get out there.
I'm with Dan. He was never on the F list. That dude is C list at worst. At worst. That's a classic. You're lucky Chris in here. As much as he loves the JSA, Chris would be going nuts right now.
So if we could, so let's say we'll come to a compromise. We'll put that one. We'll agree on the one Sportsmaster who was with the Condiment King.
Yes.
So we'll come to a compromise there.
Well, there's no compromise because you're not coming to a compromise on Crusher.
I'll let Crusher go.
Okay.
As we keep this one.
Okay. All right. If this is the F lister, I can deal with that. But Crusher has never been on the F list.
Right, so you
Well,
convinced me.
he said on his 100th birthday, right? So he appeared in 1947. So we got 23, a little less than 23 years left.
There we go.
And change left, for Sonny.
Oh, I'll let him go. So for today, I'll say we've
You,
convinced
you
me.
know what?
And we picked that.
He's gonna let you're gonna let wait a minute. You're gonna let it go, Sonny. You're gonna let him off the hook.
I'll let Sportsmaster Crusher Croc off of it
Okay.
and keep the one who likes to hang out with the Condiment King. I say that one can stay in the F list and he can hang out with the Condiment King all he wants.
He can get all the he can get all the ketchup, mustard, and mayo he wants, right, with those guys. So there you go.
He'll get his
Here we go.
full serving of gentleman's relish.
Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. That's never good.
The Condiment King. Well, thank you for jumping on quickly with this, Uncle Gary. Thank you. Thank you for giving me knowledge.
This was important, and I appreciate Dan for facilitating this, and you too. So we've come to a compromise. So I feel better about that. But Dan, I appreciate you having my back on this one, and I think you and I are right. So usually these clowns you have, they're so far below the F list. So far below that the F list is a step up, but this was the one occasion where a dude didn't belong on the F list. So,
and see, when he sent the F list thing, for everyone out there, we have a chat, for everyone on here, so we can get stuff and get stuff set for the show. When he sent that's who was going to be on the F list, I saw before you even said anything, I saw it and I just thought, all right, I'm gonna have. I was like, I'm gonna have some things to say about this. Because I was like, there's no way that Crusher belongs on the F list. And then you jumped in. I was like, all right, well, we got to get Gary on here. I'll also say there was another F lister, and I said this on the episode she was on, and I just mentioned it to Sonny before this. When he put Shamrock on there, I don't think Shamrock belongs on the F list either. I think that she is a cool character that has a lot of potential.
I didn't see that episode. That was before my time. So Shamrock is a character that I think was a cooler character too. Now
I know it was around St. Patrick's Day. I'm trying to remember if I did say in that one, if I said I think she can get out.
I figure a guy named Dan Kelly is going to be a proponent of Shamrock. So I think that's pretty important. Just as long as any heavy flow.
Well, you know what? I actually read an article on some internet thing the other day that was like top 10 Marvel characters that that are cool characters that are being neglected, and there was Shamrock right on there.
You know what? I agree. I always liked Diamondback. I thought she was a great love interest for Cap.
Oh yeah. I love those books. When was it when Grunwald was doing it, and
I think so.
Ron Lim was penciling the book at the time.
Yep, I really thought Diamondback was a great love interest for Cap and a cool character.
And who was it? Jameson was his pilot, and D-Man was hanging out with him. And
D-Man, Dennis Dumphy. Yeah. D-Man needed to bathe. Evidently, D-Man didn't smell very good.
No.
So that was a problem.
D-Man got his costume from Wolverine's tailor.
And Daredevil's.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a mixed mash. So very, very good. Well, so appreciate you letting me come in and bust in on your F list.
Glad to have you join in
conversation.
If you weren't here, I was going to throw out a challenge, and I was going to be like, Uncle Gary, we got to do this. But I'm glad that we got to have you on today. Thank you for joining us for a little bit.
Let me tell you how important this was that I show up. When I left, it was the 8th inning. The Nationals are down 2-0, had bases loaded and no outs, and I still came down here and defended Sportsmaster. And I'm sure he would appreciate me defending Sportsmaster. Defending that while a great sporting event was going on, that I walked away from that to see this. So don't know what's happening.
Steal some of your sports memorabilia.
Yeah, exactly. And Dan, tomorrow, dude, I don't know how you're doing the show. You can have one eye. You can have one eye askew, I'm sure.
He's like Pennywise. One eye here, one eye there.
Yeah.
It's the bottom of the 9th. They're tied 3-3.
Oh, there we go. See, I got more. I got bonus baseball now if they get the last out and go to the extra innings. So it was great. It was great to. You also got a review to go, right?
We do. So Uncle
Yeah.
Gary was great.
Since I didn't read it, I can't. Yeah, bring back D-Man Bushi. Well, it's nice to make a cameo appearance. Thank you for letting me defend the honor of a great JSA villain in the Sportsmaster. And thanks for having me on, Dan and Sonny. Appreciate it, fellas. And I will.
You sure you don't want to do the? I was going to say, you sure you don't want to wing it and do the review with us? It's the X-Force Youngblood crossover. I'm going to venture to say that you do not have to have read it to be able to give an accurate review of it.
Well, you know what? That book, if we were doing F lists for that book, I think that would be very appropriate to be an F list book. So there you go. And
I got some F listers saved for you though that I know you'll pick. You'll say yes.
Draw it and write it.
He did neither.
He did neither.
He neither contributed writing nor art to either one of the issues.
Well, perhaps it's better than I'm giving it credit for. I'm sure I have it. I just can't. It didn't resonate as being a work of seminal comic book creativity that I needed to remember. That's sure, but I have it.
I got it's two books. It's X-Force Youngblood and Youngblood X-Force, and one leads into the other. And I got them each for $1 at Time Warp Comics a few months ago, just because as I was digging through the bins and I saw them, I was like, I didn't even know this existed. This is going to be terrible, but it's worth $2. It's $2 terrible.
Well, so it was worth it more for the novelty of saying yeah, two of the worst X-Force books ever made. There you go, brother. Well, have fun with the review. I got a ball game, and my wife and I, we're huge baseball fans. Cool tidbit about her. She loves baseball, loves minor league baseball. She saw, I think this is so cool. She saw the Birmingham Barons. She saw the Birmingham Barons play the Chattanooga Lookouts. And the Birmingham Barons had a 6'7" outfielder named Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
How cool is that? So she's seen, how many millions of people have seen Michael play professional basketball in person, and then think of how many people have seen him play professional baseball in person. You know, a whole different level of numbers we're talking here. So I think it's really cool that she saw a baseball game with Michael Jordan playing center field or playing the outfield. So anyway, that's how big a baseball fan she is. So I'll get back to the game with her, and
enjoy.
Thanks for letting me come, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you fellows later. I'll see you next week, right? Sonny, we're doing the podcast.
Yep, and I'll make sure to have a special F lister.
There you go. And you're going to read Pulp, right?
Yep, Pulp will be review next week.
Dan, have you read Pulp?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, so good. Anyway, we'll see what they say next week. All right, fellas, thanks for letting me crash the party. Continue on doing your good work. You're doing the work of angels. See you.
Take care.
We'll talk to you tomorrow on Character of the Week.
All right, buddy. See you.
See ya.
Bye.
All
right, special guest appearance.
Nice. Well, great to have Uncle Gary on. If he was going to miss all that baseball to defend Sportsmaster, then I'm fine with not having him on the F list. But at least I got myself one F lister, the one who hung out with the Condiment King. But now that the F list is finished, we get on to our review. And today we are reviewing the Youngblood X-Force crossover. Now, our team usually does the credits. Would you like for me to do the credits today, Dan?
Yes, I did not prepare them, and I don't know where I set I still don't know where I set my copies of them at, which...
No problem. I got it.
Sitting upstairs.
I got it right here because the credits are pretty full. So
remember, there's two issues too.
Yep, so I got it for both. All right. So working on both stores, I don't want to leave anybody out. But yes, I do have it. Is that the writers are Eric Stevenson and Robert Napton. Also, but the pencilers are Roger Cruz for the first story, and for the second story, Stephen Platt, Dan Fraga, Richard Horry, Ching Lau, Michael Ling Chang, and Mark Pajarilo, Andy Park, and the inkers for the first issue was Larry Stucker, and for the second one, Marlo Alquiza, Sean Parsons, Eric Cannon, Robert Lako, Rapmund,
Norm
and
Ratman.
Norm Ratmund, and Larry Stucker. And the colorists, well, yeah, for issue number 1 was Dan Shadian, and it says Extreme Color. And then for the second one was Dan Shadian, Extreme Color, and Quantum Color Effects. And the letterer for both issues was Kurt Hathaway, but for the first issue was also Steve Dutro. And the editors for both issues were Rob Liefeld and Brent Braun. There we go. Now we are through with all of the credits. So quickly, the other story: Youngblood X Force. We see X Force, and suddenly Shaft is there. He starts fighting with X Force. Cable gets a gun to his head, and they see what's going on. He mentions Mojo World, and that's when Shaft starts says, "Wait, I gotta get involved." And he tells that Youngblood, they were tricked into signing a contract on their world. It would seem like a fan would come up to each of them like, "Oh, could you sign this?" Someone, "Oh, could you sign this for someone paperwork?" But it was the agent who was tricking them all to signing a contract, and that's how they were captured to Mojo World. And then as they were walking, suddenly there was just a portal there, so Chef just jumped in it, and that's how he ended up by the X Mansion. So Cable agrees, and so X-Men say, "Okay, we'll all jump in." And Cable says, "No, this is X-Force." And for some reason, I don't know if you noticed this, but when Cable agrees and says this is an X-Force thing, there's a picture of Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia behind him. I don't know if you caught that, and it's like a real picture of her. I don't know
I
why.
did not notice that. No.
Yeah, I don't know why that's there, but it just is suddenly there. Let me quickly see if I can. I'd have to really do a complete zoom in on it. Yeah, it's too far away.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't. I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Yeah, so no reason why, but yeah, so X Force agrees to help, and they go to Mojo World. So they go to help out Youngblood, and then and it's actually Mojo 2, the sequel, who says, "Oh, you're helping me out." But Mojo is all excited for this because he says, "Hey, this is going to be ratings. This is what I need to take over the world." So like I said, it's X Force and Youngblood teaming up to take on Mojo. So there's a few things for it. Like I said, it's 2 stories or 2 issues, and they're about, I wouldn't even say double sized, maybe about 30 something pages each. So it's not
Like
a
an
long
issue and a half each.
Yeah, about an issue and a half each. It's not a long story to get through. It's more of a fun kind of thing. Doesn't take itself too serious. So
It's not. Let's say it's not it's not what you would call a challenging read.
no, and one thing is Mojo. I'm a fan. I do like the whole Mojo world and the constant talk about ratings and stuff like that. So there's little bits of fun in there, but there are certain things I was like, ugh. For instance, some things don't connect from issue 1 to issue 2. Like, just for instance, I have the character Sentinel, who is a member of Youngblood. In the first one, he's in one panel, and he suddenly has a patch eye, and then it's only for that one panel. Then the whole next issue, he has no patch eye, so I don't get that. Also, I don't, Colonel Bravo, one part when X-Force is helping them out, he looks like a copy of Cable. And when
And
I
he
look,
says to Table like, "Hey Nate, Cable, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, blah blah." And I'm like, when the hell did these two meet?
yeah, I did not get that.
That's
Yeah,
something that was supposed to tease a future storyline that never happened, or
yeah, so stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, they knew each other. So he was basically like a Cable copy, but I looked up and he's
wait,
actually
you mean
Jeff
Rob
Dale.
Liefeld made a Cable copy in the Youngblood universe? No,
Shocking. Yeah. Also, something was
no.
the artwork in the story really changed, especially in the second one. It seemed like as I was just going through all the people who like the credits, it constantly was changing. In the second issue, it seemed like there were points where we'd have 1 or 2 pages of certain artwork, and then the next 2 were different, and then the characters were constantly changing. That really kind of threw off the vibe. Sometimes I get that with the story, like if they're doing annuals, like you want the main artists on there, but this was constantly changing throughout. Also, at one part, Caliban and Badrock really started to look alike. They almost looked like twins at one
Yeah,
point. And with the story not connecting in the beginning, it seemed like Badrock was really enjoying Mojo World, and the people were rooting for him, cheering Badrock, and he almost seemed like, "Oh, I can help these people." And towards the end of the first one, he's saying, maybe I can go back. I can help them. Remember, they thought of me as a savior. And his friends, Youngblood, they all like laugh at him. He's like, nobody takes me serious. And
But
so
they did tell him that, and then they never did anything with it in the story. They never,
exactly.
they never addressed that. They never, it was just thrown out and then not done at all. In the first one,
Exactly.
when they broke into teams and they're like, all right, all the most powerful ones are going to go do this, while the other ones that are left go and, we're going to fight this battle, and the other ones that are left are going to find this button and turn it off. And then you see the teams, you're like, well, why is Vogue, who has no powers, on the power team that's out there fighting stuff? And then for the team that's inside, Siren is on there, who has a destructive power and is on there in this team there. And you don't really see them do anything. And then it cuts to this big battle outside, and then Shaft and them come out like, oh yeah, we found the button and we turned it off, so it's good to go. Like, well, where the hell was that story? Like, you just didn't do anything with it. Like,
yeah, it's like so much non-connecting parts. Except the whole Bad Rock thing, I was assuming, okay, at the end, Bad Rock's gonna have this, this big savior moment, and like you said, just no mention of it. And even too at the end, towards it, Mojo's just like, oh yeah, it's all gonna come, crashing down or something like that. And then they just cut to another scene, and suddenly everything is coming crashing down. See, it's a story, like I said, not to be taken too serious. At points, I was more entertained. I like issue 1 a lot better than 2. And I was like, let's just try to have fun with it, enjoy. But there's so much changes, so much that didn't seem to connect from issues 1 and 2. Like, so the artwork constantly changing really got to me. It's an okay read. I don't want to be too tough. I'm like, everyone's going to be really tough, especially once people hear Youngblood. It's quick to want to jump on it and attack it. So I'm like, let me try to enjoy it. It has its entertaining moments. It wasn't a long read. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I just can't wait for this to be over, because it was pretty fast. But there is a lot of
so
problems
stupid.
and issues that this has.
When they had that, it's when X-Force had those just terrible purple and yellow costumes. God, I don't know why anybody thought that would be like, why. I know it was the 90s, but why they designed those and like, yeah, this is fire. This is the look. They're so terrible. Like,
I just think in general, a lot of it was not the best.
Yeah. And yeah, so they had that in there, and the artwork, Roger Cruz did the one whole issue, and that was, what's funny because he did X-Men later on, and that was, his style when he started out, which he always kept that style, but it was a little less detailed, very 90s-ish. And then the next one, like Stephen Platt started the issue, you're like, all right, this art looks decent. And then there were like 4 other artists that were doing it, and it's like, this art's all over the place. And then, like you said too, the story is just all over the place. Like the Mojo stuff with Mojo, like, all right, this is kind of fun. This is an interesting way to get them all together. But overall, like, and then there's like so many characters that didn't really do anything except just kind of be there in the background. That, like, Warpath is like, I'm Warpath. Like,
it was like it.
Boom Boom. That's when she wasn't going by that at the time. She was going by Meltdown.
Yeah, and
like she's just kind of there. Siren's just kind of like, almost all the characters are just kind of there, like Shaft, Cable, that are, a couple.
There was like the 3 who actually got lines. Everybody else, like I said, literally being there to give like one punch to somebody.
They had what was the guy on Youngblood?
Night Saber.
Night Saber, yeah. It was like, yeah, he's not Gambit at all, but he's like British Gambit instead of Creole Gambit. But they kind of made fun of his accent for a little bit, and and then had the thing where they're like all shooting their energy at it, and they're like, it's not working. He's like, I got this, and then he does something, and you're not really sure what, because it doesn't show it very well, but he does something, and then now it's all good, and just so it's like, hey, people are gonna buy this because Youngblood and X-Force are popular, but they didn't think that they actually had to make it good, because they didn't.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, it had its entertainment parts. It did have action, like Mojo World, but like I said, there were so many issues with it. I can't give it that high of a rating. But yes, like I said, many flaws, many issues. It's an order of a quick read. I give the Youngblood X Force crossover a 5.5 out of 10.
I gave the Youngblood X Force and X Force Youngblood crossovers a 2 out of 10.
Woo! Here we go.
And the only reason it gets a 2 is because those few pages that Stephen Platt penciled actually looked pretty good. But everything else was just a confusing, not even confusing mess, just dumb. And they just like, let's just skip over parts like that are major parts and be like, oh yeah, that happened. We did that. Like, you don't think it would have been worth 6 or 7 panels to show you doing it? It's a pretty major thing.
Like he even said with the Night Saber, I know that part you mentioned, like he gets ready and the next page he just shows the aftermath of it. So it was like, sweet, what did he do?
Well, the same thing with Shaft and them when they're in there, and he's like, I know. They're like, you always show you a button. I think I know what an off switch looks like. Then it cuts to the big battle, and then they're just out there like, all right, we found the switch and turned it off. Where did like the printer lose that page? Like,
yeah, there were multiple parts like that. So yeah, if you're up for reading a story like that, then you might want to read it. It's more of like, let's say either just don't read it, or if you for some reason want to check it out, just be prepared that it's a very flawed story. That it's more fun if you learn to laugh at it. Like you said, big parts like that are just going to be missing, and yeah, the fight's one thing too. I like to see, like, let's see with the conflict, a better battle or something where they kind of both teams, I guess, because it's X Force and Youngblood, that nobody really gave them a match. No one gave them a run for their money. They just kind of went right through every villain that was thrown at them.
Everybody who's buying this, that they wanted to see them fight each other, and that lasts for about 2 panels where X Force fights Shaft and he handles all of them, and you're like, well, that's stupid because he's a guy with a bow and arrow, But this book is to comics what Plan 9 in outer space is to cinema.
Well, there you go. I won't disagree with you on that one. So there you go, everybody. Our ratings for the Youngblood X Force / X Force Youngblood crossover. Dan gives it 2 out of 10. I give it 5.5 out of 10. So it's up to you if you want to check it out. If you do, let us know in the comments what you think of this crossover that we were X-forced to read.
I bought them each for $1 a couple months ago, and that's just because I've got a box up there where I collect company crossovers, trying to get, slowly but surely get all of them. So for $2, it was worth adding to that collection, but I wouldn't pay any more than that.
Me, I got, like I said, I only had the first issue because I bought I had a big lot of X-Force comics. It was like $30-something for the first 28 issues plus annuals and plus a few random issues here and there, and that was one of them. So when this man next to me picked out and said, hey, how about we review this? I was like, all right, well, I got one. I'll have to just find the other one. I'm not going to go hunting for it. And now after reading it, I will not be on the hunt for part 2 of this crossover. I've already read it. I've already reviewed it. Now I'm done with it. But everyone, thank you for joining us. Next week, it is set to be me, Tim, and Uncle Gary, and we are set to review Pulp, written by Ed Brubaker. So that'll be next week. Like I said, I'll get us an F-lister that we'll all agree on. I'll make sure to get a nice, nasty one for everybody.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah. But thank you again for joining us. I'm Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by Dan Kelly. And before we let you go, we can tell you that we're on all the socials.
Yes, we are on all the socials. Just got to type in the Codex Station and you'll find us on them. Or you can just do the easy thing and go to thecodexstation.com, and there's links to all the socials on there. So you just find the one you want, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube, whatever. Click on it and it will take you there, and you can buy some merch. You can meet, as Tim says, meet the team. There's little profiles on all of us and all of our glory.
Yeah, see. Good night, Liz. In the comments. And thank you, Bougie, for the compliment. So yes, we look to put on good shows for everybody. We try. We put it out there. We'll be back again next week for another episode of the Codex Podcast. And then throughout the week, there'll be more shows and everything from the Codex Station, like tomorrow, Comic Character of the Week. And Dan, before we let you get going, who is the Comic Character of the Week next? Or tomorrow?
Yes. So join us tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we will be doing a revisit of one of the first characters we did, which is Wonder Woman.
And what a wondrous episode it shall be.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, well, everyone, thank you again for joining us.